Yeah, welcome back from that segment. And of course, we're looking at the children's day tomorrow. Don't worry. I was going to ask Ursula something, but I'll ask her when the program is ending. Okay, and this segment we'll have in the studio our regular lifestyle expert from ASI Diagnostics and Medical Center. I'm talking about Mr. Clement Sunday. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And today, you say we're talking on self-made cancer. What's the last start?
Okay, so what do you mean by self-made cancer?
Okay, self-made cancer is, cancer is something that everybody is so afraid of. Nobody wants to have cancer.
And this one that you make it yourself.
But the bitter truth is that a lot of homemade products are been known to be carcinogenic. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, that we have to import almost everything that we use here. A lot of substances that are being imported that are homemade, that we use on a daily basis, contain one or two chemical agents that are known carcinogenic substances, but they are imported to the country and we use them ignorantly, and with time we see that it starts to affect our health. And they say today that ignorance is no longer an excuse. It is the way you lay your bed, you lie on it. So nobody is praying for a bad thing, but it's important for people to be aware that there are certain things they would do and certain things they need to avoid in order for them not to find themselves in positions they don't like.
Okay, so let's now know the causes of this self-made cancer.
Okay, yes, I will start by talking about number one. There is this substance that is called bisphenol A. Bisphenol A is a substance people need to watch out for, especially, we've talked about people paying attention to labels of product they use. It's usually used for canned food. They use it to line the internal part of canned food to preserve the food, especially canned tomatoes. They use it to to preserve them. But it has been known that this bisphenol, and you may also be interested to know that phenol is also used to embalm bodies. It's one of the components of embalming fluid. So bisphenol A is what is used to line the tin of tomatoes before the tomatoes are introduced to keep them fresh. But because the tomatoes that are introduced are acidic in substance, they can react with this bisphenol A and eventually cause some kind of substances that could turn into carcinogenic for the person. So as much as possible, people need to stay with fresh tomatoes. Unfortunately,
Unfortunately,
fresh tomatoes is something else now.
Yes, because of the disease ravaging tomatoes now. The second thing is soft drinks. Soft drinks, people need to be very careful the kind of soft drinks that they take, because they use a lot of coloration. There's something they call 4-hemi. 4-hemi is what stands for 4-methyl-limidazole. It's a substance which are commonly used in drinks to give them the coloration that we see, and this is a known carcinogenic substance as well. That's 4-methyl-limidazole. It's a known carcinogenic, so people need to watch out for that. And another thing is processed meat. People take a lot of processed meat. They use it for snacks. They use it for different things. They're already packaged and all that. They use a lot of sodium nitrate for them. But sodium nitrate, as it were, is not harmful. But when ingested and it comes into our body, it forms a substance called N-nitroso components. And these N-nitroso components, they are known to be carcinogenic. So that is what the sodium nitrate, because they use sodium nitrate to keep them looking fresh as much as possible. So when you open this can, you see them to be looking very fresh, and it's carcinogenic. So at the end of the day, and sometimes people use hydrogenated oils. Ordinarily, for vegetable oil, you would have expected to be naturally extracted. It's only butter that is naturally extracted. But when it comes to other vegetable oil, we use different kinds of chemicals to extract them, and they are very high, rich in omega-6 fatty acid. And omega-6 fatty acid, we have to understand that it's beneficial to the body, but in excessive amount, it has been known to have interaction and influence on cell membranes, and has an ability to make our cells very flexible. And that is how that is some of the characteristic of cancer, because they have the tendency to make cells multiply and multiply. So those are some of the things. So we need to watch out for hydrogenated oils and all that. Then artificial sweeteners, especially aspartame. Aspartame is another substance now, because people now, there's this popular belief now on diet this, diet that. I don't take anything sugary, I only take something that is diet and that doesn't have calories, but without paying attention to what components that these diet substances contain. So these are some of the ways we make homemade. Then also hydroquinone. Hydroquinone is another substance which are found in whitening creams. It's one of the
whitening creams. That's what they call bleaching cream.
Bleaching creams, and all that. So hydroquinone is a substance, is one of the most active components of whitening creams, and it's the basic thing. How it works is just that it prevents the production of melanin pigment. Melanin pigment has been designed to protect our body from sunlight, excessive sunlight, in order for us to be protected and prevent us from having skin cancer. But what this hydroquinone does is that when we keep rubbing it on our skin over time, they destroy the melanin pigment, which are proteinous in nature, and they allow the ultraviolet rays to penetrate down into our skin. And when that happens, it can also initiate processes of cancer.
Okay, well, I know it's our duty to educate, entertain, and to keep the public informed on what they should do. Throw more light on the soft drink. You mentioned that people should be careful as to avoid self-made cancer.
Okay, yes. As much as possible, I've said it many times here, that people should take more water. More water. If you have to take soft drinks, space it, because I was somewhere last week for a presentation, and I was told, a woman approached me and said, I take 2 soft drinks every day.
I do 4.
Yeah, so it's very serious. Yes, it's very serious. Person takes 2. So there are a lot of people out there that don't even know what danger they expose themselves to. But studies have shown that when you keep taking this thing, so what it contains, they consist of caffeine. Most of them consist of caffeine. They consist of phosphoric acid. They consist of water. They also contain sugar, and sometimes they use aspartame for diet this, diet that, ones among them, and also contain what I call the 4-methyl limidazole, which are what is used for the coloration that you see. So which are known carcinogenic substances.
Okay.
People need to as well watch out for genetically modified organic foods, because their whole idea is to ensure that these plants grow their own pesticide so that they don't die. Like, for example, we're talking about tomatoes now dying. So, we can take some of them to the lab and create some kind of species of tomatoes that will have their own pesticide. Fine, they won't be able to have disease anymore, but what happens to people who consume them? Because you consume these tomatoes with their pesticide. So people need to watch out for genetically modified organic foods as well.
Okay, so let's now look at the symptoms of this self-made cancer.
Okay, yeah, of course, there are different types of cancer. It depends on where it's found. When it gets into the body, it depends on which part of the body it's affected, because if someone has a cancer of the liver, it presents its own symptoms. If it has kidney, it presents its own symptoms. If it's the brain, it presents its own symptoms. So there are different parts of the body.
Meaning that they can come in any part of the body.
Yes, any part of the body.
Let's look at how to prevent this. Because we talked about artificial sweeteners, canned food. These are 21st century things that we do.
Yes.
More often than not. So how can we try to avoid all of this? Just
it's a bitter truth. We need to hype our discipline, our level of discipline, to as much as possible stay away from these things, so that we don't end up becoming victims, because that's the whole essence of this preventive health and lifestyle. So we have been living with these things we've been living without these things before now. Why is it possible? Why is it now that it's very difficult for us to stay away from them? So, and you should understand that Nigeria doesn't manufacture mainly most of these things. They are imported into the country. So
let's do homemade.
So
to the farm.
So we just get them. We put them in our kitchens, in our fridge, and all these things. So we need to, as much as possible, stay more of natural than to go artificial. I
think that's the last line. Do more natural than artificial.
Exactly.
I'd like to say thank you very much. We've been speaking with Mr. Sunday Clement. He's a lifestyle expert from ASI. Upo Medical Center. Once again, thank you for coming on the program.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's Good Morning Crossover Thursday. In a short while, program will be back. Stay with us.
pass out. Oh, no, no.
I don't get a lot, God the way. And I don't pay my rent, God the way. Baby want for my hand, but God the way. Baby want keep my joy, but God the way. I say anything them do, now God the way. No, now God the way. No, now God the way, no. Anything them do, now God the way. No, now God the way. No, now God the way, no. I don't change my name to God the way. And no more, I don't buy more to God the way. They say my market no go sell, but God the way. And then me say I no go blue, but God the way. Them my brother, make them try their luck, my God go win. No, my God go win. No, my Lord go win, no. Anything I do, now God the way. No, now God the way. No, now God the way, no. As you don't pass exam, now God the way. And then me say you no go pass, for God the way. You wake up, see today last song, now God the way. Robbers they rob, they no see you, brother. They no see you, my sister. Oh yeah, better pass. God the way, no, now God the way. No, now God the way, no. Anything I do, now God the way. No, now God the way. No, now God the way, no. As now your wedding day, now God the way. And he don't tell where you dey find, but God the win. See we go pop champagne today, God the win. And we go dey dance, cause God the win. Oh, anything you win, now God the win. And if you win election, my brother, God the win. Like if you win the contract, my friend, God the win. And if you check the countdown, my brother, God the win. And if your market say now God the win. No, now God do it, no, now God do it, no. Anything I do, now God do it, no, now God do it, no, now God do it, no. Why you no go dance, now God do it, no, now God do it, no, now God do it, no. Anything I do, now God do it, no, now God do it, no, now God do it, no. God do it.